Hey guys, Happy New Year, and yeah, I'm recording. So it's 2022 and I wanted to create this video talking about what happened, during the pandemic, how I've come up to this point. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Asarai, not my real name. I'm a Shoutcaster living in the Philippines, and I've been casting Valorant for more than a year now, ever since its release on beta. I've really been enamored, really just enjoying the game somewhat. And I wanted to create this video to talk about why I got into FPS. Initially, I was in Mobas, League of Legends, Dota 2, Here's the Storm, all that good stuff, but I really kept going back to FPS. CSGO at the first, Crossfire I think as well, and then ultimately leading up to Valorant. And what are my plans? What's in next for me in esports? What are my goals for this year? And it's just more of like, I guess, a reflection of what I want to happen and what has happened already in my career in Valorant shoutcasting. So let's get started. First things first, why did I stop casting MOBAs as my main source of game output or game input? Before I started with League of Legends, but I think initially with me, I never really was that comfortable with I guess the rapid change that MOBAs bring with each patch. With all of what happens with like League of Legends every 2 weeks, I think, there are 3 weeks, there's a new patch that can rapidly evolve, rapidly just change the landscape of how the game is played. And I think because there wasn't really a good game at that point that I was willing to transfer to, I got stuck for that for a couple of years. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed it for a time, but I felt like there was still a piece missing. And again, that's why I got into the FPS genre. I felt like FPS was more of a basic game designed to play. You have a weapon, you shoot your opponents, you get all the eliminations, and you win. And I have been just so in love with that aspect that CSGO really hooked me in, and it really also showed me the stories, the history of FPS players in general. And I don't know, again, it just felt so much more enticing and eye-opening than what other game genres were able to give to me, excluding Smash Ultimate or FGCs, because FGC I feel like has the same kind of vibe with FPS, at least for me. And again, this is just my opinions, guys. And again, the reason also why I love FPS is I'm a simple person, and FPSs it's a simple to pick up, hard to master kind of deal where you just know that you can move around, you can shoot opponents, you have utilities here and there, but the way that you kind of level up, how to make that tighter, how to make that more, your executes more finesse-like is what I think just separates my love for the game compared to other titles out there. So moving past that, Valorant. In 2020, 2021, we were hit with the pandemic here in the Philippines, and it just didn't feel like there was anything in the horizon that was looking to give me hope for shoutcasting. I was really down in the dumps there. I think a lot of people in my specific industry were also feeling the same thing. And then lo and behold, I think around June something, Valorant launched out of beta, and then everybody was like, this is it. This is the game that's gonna revitalize shoutcasting for a lot of people who were into the FPS genre. And in a couple of months, it was already there. We had local tournaments, we had unofficial big tournaments, and then came VCT. It really was just from 0 to 100 in just a couple of months, even during the pandemic, even when we couldn't really go outside, go host tournaments in LAN events. Riot has done a good job at making the infrastructure work even though it's online. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. You'll still have those issues with latency and whatnot, but what game would actually not have that if it's real time? You know what I'm saying? So still a really good job for Riot for making that happen. And it just also created a tournament that we could follow, create those storylines, Philippine players going outside, becoming a Southeast Asia juggernaut team, all of this just wrapped around in the Valorant ecosystem of how the game is, how the story has progressed. It really has just gotten fans and everybody who wants to get into something, really get into something, which is, again, we don't really have that much in the Philippines. You could say, yeah, CSGO, CS in general has a rich history in the Philippines. The big problem to that is we don't really have the necessary, how do you say this, tools to kind of record all that history in one go. There will just be that one obscure person that knows everything, but then the good majority of people do not. At least with Valorant, it's a lot more different. And what's good about that is Valorant doesn't, erase what was the past games of these pros. It embraces that. It understands that if you come in from Overwatch, if you come in from Crossfire, if you come in from CS, if you come in from, hell, a MOBA, hell, a fighting game, it just gives you so much more to be like, I did not know that guy was there. For example, again, you probably already know Dubstep, guy that I've been casting back in like 2015 when he was still Mineski CSGO. Even before I was casting, he was already playing. So that is just mind-boggling to me. All right, so with all of that said, I really have been very thankful about how Valorant has done that. And again, there's just so much more to come. So what's next for me in esports? Honestly, I just want to keep doing what I've been doing. For 2022, I really just plan to stick with Valorant Philippines and Valorant Southeast Asia. If I can get more opportunities to cast more Valorant, I would love to do so. And my goal, my dream for 2022 is to be part of that main broadcast team, whether in a Masters tournament or in a in a Champions tournament like the one they had in Berlin. That would be fantastic if we could, if I could get in there. Of course, I'm not making this video to have somebody, bat an eyelash on me and just give me the opportunity because of this video. It's more of like just something I just wanted to get out there to the internet, just to kind of create that goal space in my head. With that being said, that is really just what I want to do in this 2022, and of course, income. It's what we need right now. Always gonna have to survive and keep everything afloat. That being said, it's been a good year for that as well. Lastly, what are my predictions for Valorant in 2022 for Southeast Asia? I don't know if you've seen this, and I can't really explain it properly just yet, but there is no more Southeast Asia seed going into a Masters anymore. They'll have to go through APAC and then a seed into Masters from what I understood. I'll have to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. In any case, and again, this is not a video that was asked of me. I intentionally did this by myself. What has been and always will be a concern of mine with growth of a certain esports in Southeast Asia, it's that it's very fickle. It's a great big burning flame that might not have as much wood to burn in a longer term period. And what I mean by that is you might have known, for example, like Heroes of the Storm and even League of Legends, one of Riot's games, I feel hasn't really had that much success anymore as an esports in this particular region. And please, if I'm mistaken and you feel like I'm wrong with this, please, do counter me on that, because I haven't really felt as much. Mobile, League of Legends Wild Rift is doing much better than I felt like for PC in the esports of things. Like I saw a lot of pros from League of Legends PC transition into the mobile version, the Wild Rift version, where they were just supposedly retired, but now they're coaches, they're players once again. It's amazing, and Wild Rift deserves all of that. And here comes my concern. Usually an esports burns really strong for, let's say, 1 to 2 years, maybe 3, if it really does have that support from the developers. But a lot of people tend to kind of lose their how do you say this, enjoyment of the game, and ultimately kind of leave it and then not also follow the esports scene. I think Jesse Vash has mentioned this before, way back earlier in the infancy of Valorant esports, where there really needs to be a lot more viewers to support the esports scene of that certain game, of Valorant, because if you don't, you know, the developers, Riot, might see this as a bad thing and start to kind of cut all that support slowly but surely. I get it. They've made their videos, they've created all of this hype about creating more opportunities with the game changers and whatnot for the female division and all of the other things that encompasses esports for Valorant. But again, Southeast Asia is such a different landscape compared to NA, compared to Europe, compared to the other regions of the world out there. It feels like it's just faster to burn if we're not careful with it. But at least from what I've seen in the first year, it looks like it's good, but I can't help but always be afraid of what's going to be happening with that. Because again, personally for me, it's going to be a scare of what's going to be my next thing to shoutcast. Again, you know, what's going to be the next landscape of tournaments for these pros to get into if Valorant loses that thing. So again, we'll have to do our best as a community, as a talent side for the casters, and of course the pro players, to do all of this to keep the flame roaring for as long as we can. We can make this happen. I mean, damn, Dota 2 has survived for the longest time in the Philippines. Every single time. So we could see that with Valorant, but these 1 to 3 years is very, very crucial for the scene, and I hope that we can make that happen. So anyways, that is what what's the title of this video again? I forgot what the title of this video was again. So this is being a shoutcaster in Valorant. FPS changed my perspective. Valorant changed my trajectory of what I was planning to do for 2020 onwards. And now we're in 2022. It's past 2 years already, and I'm still enamored with this game. I'm still excited about what is going to be upcoming for these pros that have already established themselves, and the challengers, the newcomers that are looking to topple over the top dogs, and it is going to be fun. Anyways, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I'll also try to make this into a podcast because I've been meaning to make that one happen as of for a long time now. But anyways, Happy New Year, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao and bye.